From CBS Sports.com, 50 under-the-radar players who could shape the 2023 season. They go with two of them for the Browns, 29 and 30. Dalvin Tomlinson Ogbo Okoronkwo. Tomlinson, a quality run defender. Cleveland desperately needed that after finishing 27th in defensive run success rate. Last year, Okoronkwo produced 25 hurries, just 257 pass snaps, ninth best rate among the 141 players with at least 250 pass snaps. And again, they also added Zadarius Smith. So I agree. If those two players play well, this line's going to be, nobody's going to want to handle it. You do not want to see, if they play like the Browns think they can, this is going to be a handful of a defensive line.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting, I'll start with Ogbo Okoronkwo. We've already kind of seen them use him in different ways. And I think, again, he has a small sample size last year where he was a starter in Houston. It was 8 games or something. It was the last half of the season. So he hasn't gotten a ton of starter snaps, but obviously he showed a lot in that small sample size. So now it's can that be replicated over a longer period? But we've also seen him line up like a linebacker. Jim Schwartz likes to move these guys around, cycle them in and out. So I think that's going to be interesting. And yeah, Dalvin Tomlinson is the first defensive tackle that this regime has paid a big contract to. And I think with him, it's not necessarily about getting to the quarterback, although I think we're going to see those defensive tackles not just sit there and eat up blocks. I think with Dalvin, even if he doesn't get the sack and finish the play, he's really good at forcing those quarterbacks outside to his ends. And I think what also is intriguing about him, he did play in Minnesota with Zadarius Smith last year. So he's very familiar what it's like to see Zadarius Smith rush from the inside and play alongside him while he does that. I think that can only help this defense because I honestly think we're going to see that quite a bit, moving Zadarius around and trying to get favorable matchups from him on the inside if they can maneuver that. And I think ultimately that's going to help Zadarius, it's going to help Dalvin, it's going to help Myles Garrett, and it's just going to help this defense as a whole to create pressure because they really struggled with it last year when Myles Garrett was really the only consistent threat for opposing offenses to have to worry about.